Howdy, 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 howdy. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Please give me those thumbs up. Right now, we're only going to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Sorry, going live, that is. I'm going to assume y'all can hear me. All right. Let me do my chat calls. Ooh, this is a morning start. Okay, what's up? Mom Life Love Third Shift. Karen J. Hey. Yes. Yes. After Yeah, I can let that conversation go, even though I haven't been asleep. Yes, truth be told, tag back, sir. Hey, Smoothie. What's going on? Girl, I was thinking about you last night, honey, and I don't know what, when you hit the panel, we was laughing about something. I said, Smoothie got that goddamn big laugh like I do. Yes. Karen J, always here. 1/3 of the KKK. Hey, stilettos for me. Mom Life Love, the official Angie Whisperer. Oh, actually, I probably got a couple of those up in this building. Hey, Cotton Candy, just jazz. So yeah, I went ahead and dropped the link already. But yeah, I want to continue that conversation because it was really interesting. And Jeff came in. You know, when he comes in, he's a powerhouse too. All that information just has, all that research her and Dom has done, and then Jeff comes with that other side of it, and it's something to listen to, right? Because for a win, definitely for a win civilly, R. Kelly probably could if he could prove that um the accountant and whoever misappropriated his funds and somebody stole some money or whatever, it's very well shit civilly, yeah, possibly criminally, if that's what he could prove. You know what I'm saying? So, and he could address all his money concerns, um, while he's been detained. He could do that. He can direct his lawyers to do so. So, um, and if there's if he has to appear in court or what have you, while he's behind bars, they'll make arrangements for him to do so as well. So, yeah, you always you don't want anyone to be ripped off, right? So if he had money stolen from him and this, that, and the third, and of course he should get his money. With the royalties and stuff like that, just because it will be coming due, you know, then of course he won't get the whole amount if he has stuff like already been charged against it. What up, Jeff? What up?
Hey, now there go my buddy. What up, Angie? How you doing this morning?
What's up, buddy? What's going on? What's going on?
Man, nothing much. I went to bed probably about 8, 9 o'clock at night. Woke up, couldn't go back to sleep. Just turned on YouTube, and I seen y'all chopping it up real heavy over there. Shout out to the brother Truth Be Told. Shout
Right,
out to
right. He's
you,
doing
Angie.
good.
Shout out to
Thank
Just
you.
V. Shout out to my beautiful sister Just Jazz. Shout out to the young brother Dom K. Y'all were chopping it up real heavy, and then I
Hmm.
say, man, let me go. I mean, forgive me, but I say, man, let me go pull me a shot right quick and listen in right quick, and
Right.
I.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Oh, you know what? It would be so much fun if all of us, the ones that could, vibe together and whatever, no crazy shit, you know what I'm saying, could get together and whatever. And I like this going live or whatever, but we could crack, have a good time and crack up and shit. and I'll watch y'all drink and do whatever.
Yeah, definitely, man. I met a lot of cool people on this YouTube over the past 2 years that I would
Right.
love to vibe with. I met a few. I met quite a few in person, and man, I'm just a laid back cat, man. I can't say uh any different. I love people. I love different different conversations, intelligent conversations. I don't really subscribe to ignorance. So as long as the conversation is great, and we can have a
Mm-hmm.
difference of opinion. You could be on the other side, and I still love you, and it's nothing personal against you.
Right, right, right. That's how it should be. It shouldn't, but honey, it has turned. I know I have been a part of the deadly attacks, but hey, you know what I'm saying. Hey, listen, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Other than that, I come in peace. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. I feel
That's
you. You just got that. You got that G in you. You can't. It's just there. It ain't gonna go nowhere. You was born with
right,
it.
right. That's what I tell people. I said, don't worry about the 14 and a half years I did in school. Worry about the 14 years I did in the hood. That's what you got to worry about. That ain't
Right.
gonna change.
That ain't gonna change, and that's just we all come from that aspect where we try
Uh-huh.
to ignore the ignorance, but sometimes we find ourselves involved and engulfed in it, even though beyond our own admission.
Right,
But
right,
in any event,
right.
I wanted to continue that wonderful conversation we were having because it's so informative. When you look at the record industry, recording entertainment industry, and I do music on a
Mm.
local underground level. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I wear many hats in the city of Chicago. I've
oh,
been
okay.
a
I didn't
party.
know that.
I've been a yeah. I've been a party club promoter. I
Oh,
promoted shows. I brought in, with the assistance of other people, big name artists to the city of Chicago. I don't want to do too much name dropping, but
right.
uh, yeah, I've seen the industry for what it really is on the business side of things. So I have a different eye for what's going on with certain things. And then when you do your own research as it pertains to different artists, there's a documentary that is very good that I encourage everybody to view with Tony Braxton recently when she talks
Mm.
about what happened to her in the entertainment industry. And you will find out that Barry Hankerson was also managing her at some point and did her dirty, and
Oh my
she's
God.
she's struggling, due to a lot of those early contracts with him. You know what I'm saying, and other artists. You know what I'm saying. That's just to name a few. Missy Timberland, Genuine, Tank. They all were associated. So we know
Mm.
the history that we hear the name being brought up with Kels. I mean,
Mm.
as it pertains to the recording industry, very few artists die wealthy. They very few leave this game unscathed. Very few,
Wow.
uh, and it's very unfortunate because when we look at as it pertains to Kels in this situation,
Mm.
he signed recording contracts back. And I understand what Dom K was saying on the other channel, like he's responsible for this, that, and the third. That's true. He
Mm.
is responsible to educate himself. But when
All
you
right.
legally sign a binding contract 30 years ago that you still have to adhere to today,
Mm.
that's a different conversation. That's a totally different conversation. You kind of have to go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Because that contract legally binds you to what the contract stipulated. Even though your money changed, your status changed, society, the world has changed from 30 years. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I'm still gonna hold you at this legal piece of paper that you signed when you was a 20-year-old kid, even though you 50 years old now. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
without going in depth, we got to look at it from that aspect. Tails was a kid, if you ask me, when he signed his contract. I mean, a young adult, not a kid, but I'm just saying. And when he signed his contract back then, you know what I'm saying? It was certain stipulations where his publishing, his masters, and all of that they were in limbo. You know, as far as they didn't belong to him. I don't know all the logistics, but what I do know and what his inner circle has confirmed is that, and it's a law with artists, after 30 odd years, you can retrieve your publishing, your masters, everything that you owe. They probably didn't
Right.
think that that man would be relevant in the music industry 30, 40 years later as he is now. You feel what I'm saying? So when he
Mhm.
signed his contract back then, unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst to the record label, they didn't think he would become the king of R&B. They thought they had another artist, just another artist sign and be hot for a minute. Cause you know you got a million one hit wonders or two hit wonders, but R. Kelly has
Yeah.
sustained, and he has built a catalog not only written for himself but other artists. I mean, mainstream artists, that his catalog of music, publishing, masters is worth almost $1 billion, but he's not even worth $1 million right now. That's
Right.
crazy when you think about that. And
Right. That is.
you know, when he legally he can get his money, he can get $1 billion, but they don't want to pay a poor black boy from the projects of Chicago $1 billion. They don't want to do that. R. Kelly would rule the industry with the knowledge that he got. Now, mind you, people saying he should have went to the bank. Listen, when you got these people so deep in your pocket and you messing with legal binding contracts and things of that nature, your hands are tied behind your back. It's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? That's barely scratching the surface. Going to the bank and counting your money and all that. But see, I understand the flip side of the industry because I've seen it to a degree. You know what I'm saying? From just doing music myself, I understand. But see, to the average person that's just listening to that music and understand the dynamics behind it, you know what I'm saying? This is not about any R. Kelly is the same thing that happened to Michael Jackson. The same thing that happened to Whitney Houston. The same thing that happened to Sam Cooke. The same thing that happened to Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Right.
is they're using this as a smoke screen, but this is not about any alleged victims. This is about money. If R. Kelly did not try to go for his masters and his publishing, the surviving R. Kelly would have never happened. I promise you that. He knew that somebody, I don't know who or himself, rose to they woke up and realized, man, they owe me $1 billion. I'm about to go after that. As soon as he said, man, I want my money, that's when they started filming our Surviving R. Kelly, and that's around 2015, 2016. By 2017, they were already talking about muting him and all this crazy stuff. Now, he didn't have any charges or anything of that yet, but it's all political. It's all about money. And you know, I understand people with their concerns about underage girls and all that. We just saw a whole trial go down. You know what I'm saying? And the only people that was underage was two out of what, six, and they sat up there and admitted that they lied about their age to be in this man's presence. It's not about
Right.
that. You gotta know it's bigger than that. America never cared about black women, black men. They don't care about black people. They don't care about
But
victims. You want to? Okay,
no, no,
I'm
I was
just
gonna
saying.
say, yeah, I was gonna say now, but under the contract and for his royalties and stuff, it doesn't matter. Like if he went for his contracts and went for his money or whatever, even if he's in this situation, when he still get it?
Well, the only way that they don't have to give it to him is if he's in jail or dead. And I really believe that's what they're trying. They either trying to keep him in jail or they trying to
So
kill him. I'm
in the
honest.
same.
Just looking at their
Oh,
record, just looking at their history and how they do black artists. If I
but
was
what I'm
R.
saying
Kelly, as
is,
soon as if I get up out this jam,
mm, what
I'm
I'm
trying
saying
to
is
go ahead and flee the country.
right. What I'm saying is, but like as far as the contract, they, if I'm not, I mean, for as the the money, the royalties, the publishings, or whatever it is, it's supposed that reverts back to you. Because I asked somebody that was in the industry. It no matter if you're in trouble, I think you still get the money. Are you still here, Jeff? You still here? Oh, something happened to Jeff. But
Hey Angie, I
what's
want
going
to
on, Trent?
piggyback off what Jeff just said.
Mm,
He said the only way you can get your masters and your publishing is if you arrested. No, they made a new law about 16 years ago. The only way that you can get it is if you are accused of any sex crimes or
oh,
like rape allegations. So to
okay.
me, that fell right into place for them because if you accused of any sex crimes, then they won't give it to you. Plus, that's why you see YouTube said they dropped him because of he um he went against their community guidelines, meaning because of the allegations and the charges.
Morning, JoJo.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is wow. That's a revelation because I didn't know that.
So that's what
I
makes
don't.
me feel like you know
Okay.
a lot of people you got to look at follow the money. If next year R. Kelly will own his masters and all his publishing back, right? Who benefits if he don't get the money?
That's a great question.
Yeah, whoever the
Excellent
holder is
question.
of the
So when everybody say, "Oh, Sony is rich and they ain't worried about his money," this person ain't worried about his money. Do you not know that we don't have albums and CDs no more? Everybody gets paid off for streaming. So most of the whole industry has features with R. Kelly. So his music that he wrote, produced, like he wasn't an artist that needed people to write his music. He wrote it, produced for other artists, wrote for other artists. So just imagine if they can own all that and sell all that music,
mm,
how would they not benefit? Because 10, 20 years from now, a R. Kelly record from 2013 is going to be as brand new in 10 years as it was in 2013.
right.
So, and even with his intellectual property, Sony still owns anything that's R. Kelly. Any any albums that he created under Sony while he still was signed to them. So how would they not make money?
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
he
Hmm.
wrote it, so they ain't gotta go pay nobody else for the writing credits. They ain't gotta pay nobody else to produce it. He owned it
Exactly.
all.
And see,
So
that's the
why not
part.
shut him out?
That's the part that majority of just you can't blame them. Majority of people just that's never been involved or have any understanding of how the industry works. They just look at it like, well, he should know how much money. I know how much money I got in the bank. No, it don't work like that. When you dealing with so many different avenues of and so many different people that are tapped in, you know what I'm saying, and you sign these legal binding contracts from 30 years, 20 years ago, and now you looking like, bro, I should be. It can happen, and it has happened to the biggest and our most favorite artists. R. Kelly ain't the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Look what Prince said. Prince warned us all. Prince had to go under a whole nother name when he came out and spoke against Sony and said they wasn't trying to give him his money. And he couldn't even perform under Prince. I forgot the name he was performing under during the end of his
The,
career
Woman
because,
known as Prince.
huh?
Artist woman known. Well, it was actually a symbol, right? So that's what he performed. So let me ask you this. So is the argument is that if he would have never started, questioning about his money, or if it wasn't nearing time for him to receive his money, they wouldn't have investigated and found these alleged crimes?
I just feel
and,
like, all right. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
oh no, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Go ahead.
When Jennifer Bojane said the other day, me and her were going back and forth on Twitter, right? And after she did that interview, I just was doing like, a little research of the things she was saying. And it made sense when she said, if they're saying this stuff happened over 30 years, they could have been brought these charges up. The
Mm-hmm.
same woman was out here. The same woman that's saying this happened 20 years ago, 10 years. So this is the feds. You ain't going to tell me that they couldn't have been brought these charges. They couldn't have been came forth with them. But
Exactly.
when you got all these people putting all this money into Surviving R. Kelly, they stated that an agent, after watching Surviving R. Kelly, an agent started to produce the charges on Mr. Kelly. So
Mm-hmm.
all I'm saying is, if they keep screaming this 30-year stuff, oh, after 2008, this, that, and the third, and all this, Rashonda went overseas, and if they saying some people say to me, oh, they was investigating him since the 90s. They was investigating him since 2009. Hey, if the feds got all this on you 10, 15, 20 years ago, they would have came then. So the time frame just looks like it fits when you got a man accent that knows in 2 years. Well, at that time, he knew 3 years coming up, he's about to own all his music.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't seem like it fitted the narrative, and plus they knew if they get him on sex crimes, he definitely can't get his masters.
If you look
Right.
at the timeline, you know what I'm saying. The timeline will tell you everything. R. Kelly was in the clear, like he was off the radar, like he was in the cut, doing whatever he was doing. 2015, 2016, 2017. They started talking about mute R. Kelly, and they had all these movements, Times Up, and all that. That's the year that if you listen to Will Edie, he spoke on this multiple times on social media. Shout out to Will.
Mm-hmm.
He told y'all, man, we sat back and figured out that we signed contracts when this man came in the game when he was 20 years old, 950. Y'all owe him this money. He signed over his rights not
Oh, he did
unknowingly.
say that. He did say they had a big meeting with the lawyers and everything. He did say that.
Exactly. And shout
Mm-hmm.
out to a particular that really broke it down. I don't know all the specifics, but this, because I can't think of it off the top of my dome. But shout out to Senator Sane. He has,
Yes.
if you look in, if he has videos that break down the timeline and the logistics of you can go back, artists can go back at 30 years, and it's
Right.
That's how I learned.
that R. Kelly could have got his masters, and he figured that law out. Went after
Yeah,
that. Next thing you know, here we are.
that's how I learned, Jeff, about um the sex crimes. If you get either allegations on you or charged, I learned that from Senator Saint channel. Because last year he was breaking down. He actually went over the 360 deal, and 15 years after you sign the 360 deal, he
Mhm.
went over the advance money once you sign the 360 deal. He even went over how some lawyers, when you usually sign the deal, you usually supposed to have the lawyer there with you.
Right.
And to go over the actual form and read the fine print. And you usually supposed to put yourself, a witness, and your lawyer down when you sign the 360 deal or any contract when you coming in the industry. But at that time, you got R. Kelly, Barry Hankerson, Daryl McDavid, Demetrius, who's with him while he's signing this um, deal, right? But
Hmm.
Right.
at this time, you still got Barry Hankerson. Well, you still got Demetrius trying to push his career. Then you had Barry Hankerson trying to open up this label. Then you had Daryl McDavid just coming in, but trying to, start his career. But out of all of them, one thing in common they had was R. Kelly. He gonna push
Exactly.
through. We all gonna eat off this one person. But you got Barry Hankerson, you got Daryl McDavid that went to school, had degrees. So, like Jeff said, they had all the education that Rob didn't have.
When did McDavid come
Exactly.
in? When did McDavid
McDavid,
come?
I just found out at the trial. I never knew this because I always tried to figure out what was the connection with Susan Logan's, Ian. Ian was the lawyer for Tiffany Hawkins,
Mm,
and Susan Logan's. How did Demetrius know to go to take Tiffany to Ian, and then he went to Tiffany at Susan Logan's.
mm.
They Daryl McDavid went to school with Susan Logan's and Robert. Ain't that crazy?
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep.
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 And when
Exactly.
Daryl McDavid graduated, Rob was coming in the industry. He was with Demetrius. You can sing, da da da. Oh, I just went to school and, I'm an accountant, da da da. Boop. Everything was like, oh, you accountant, bro? All right, come on, I'm. So that's how he came in. Then you already had Barry Hankerson and um, Demetrius that knew each other from the industry, and they both had their little A-list artists at the time, but they knew Rob would be the big fish,
Yeah.
and
And it's
that's how
like
they all
this.
came.
The the music business is so cold. It's like people say real recognize real, fake
Mm,
recognize fake, and snakes recognize snakes. When I think
oh.
about Daryl McDavid and Barry
Mm,
Hankerson and Susan Logan's, they had a man. We cooking. We got a sweet pick with R. Kelly. We finna run this. We finna run this lick right quick, and that's what they exactly
mm,
what they did.
And it's so sad. Like I'm probably going all the way back, but it's a guy named Chuck that I always talk about. It was Chuck and Demetrius, and it's real good if y'all read Demetrius' book. I know people don't like him and stuff, but I read even the alleged victims. I read all the books because I be trying to put the little missing puzzles to a lot of different things. And Demetrius, it was Demetrius and Chuck. And Chuck, Rob was 14, 15 at the time.
mm.
And Chuck was running a freaking child porn business.
Mm.
Okay. Not
Who?
only that,
Who
yeah,
was?
this
Wow.
guy Chuck, he was like taking pictures of younger
Whoa.
women in like cheerleading outfits. No, but these girls was like 13, 14. So Demetrius said, they was in this business, the child porn business. They was making money. Da, da, da. And he's still trying to locate Rob to get some type of deal. I guess he taking this money he making from that, trying to get him and his sister, his family, to support him to get Rob a deal somewhere. But of course, Demetrius' sister comes in with her husband. Her husband was famous at the time. He was playing for Chicago Bulls, so he had the
Mm-hmm.
money to go put out to try to get Robert this deal. But the issue with me was that Demetrius had sex with a 15-year-old. I think she was 14 or 15. And he was 33 years old. So you're
What?
not going to tell me that at that, yeah. And
I didn't even know that.
he started going to the mothers. All this in his book is crazy, man. And he said she had big boobs and big butts. So he never knew that she was young. And he said, oh, you're never supposed to ask a woman about her age. So he never questioned it. And plus, she already had a baby that was one. She had her first kid at 12. So the first
But you
time he
know,
found out,
I mean, not to
the,
cut you out, just Jab, but I just want to add in just my 2 cents right quick. When you just said that, at that particular time, see, we have to pay attention to the times because
mm-hmm.
the times change. At that particular time, this was probably in the late 80s, early 90s. It was a
Yeah,
different
because
time. People didn't look at 15, 16-year-olds
this
dealing
was
with
like 80,
grown.
this was like 90. Okay, no, this was like 86, 87. Because Demetrius left in
Oh,
94. Rob was
yeah.
only 16, 17 at this time.
Right. So it's a totally different era. Thi-
Mm-hmm.
this new Me Too era, where they're trying to basically say
Because
that.
listen, you right. Because when she had the baby, that's the first time he seen her age. She had the baby coming in, so now he filling out the birth certificate, and he say he looked like, you about to be 15? Damn, I ain't never, even pay that no mind. But he said because she already had a kid, her first kid was at 12. He knew the mother. The
Man,
Oh,
mother was cool with him. He would go to the house and all this stuff. But my point was, he liked it females that age. At that age, he was.
right.
You getting where I'm going? And then this guy
uh-huh.
Chuck was doing this child porn business. So how do we know that a lot of their past wasn't catching up and they start putting it on Rob? Because the sister Cece, Rob was 18, she was 28 having sex with
That's
Rob.
why. That's why I totally believe in the statute of limitations. You know why? Not because I believe anybody need to hide anything, because society changes on a pivot at least every decade or half a decade. The society we live in today is unassociable to the society we lived in 2 decades
Mm-hmm.
ago. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What was
But let's
acceptable
be
in
honest,
society?
why do a young woman really like an older guy? For one, stability. For two, maturity. When I was in high school, I used to see all of my friends going to go meet the guy that's not in high school, that's pulling up in the big trucks and the nice cars, and because they didn't want to go home on a bus with the 10th and 11th grader.
Oh man,
And
I
then
would see.
most of these young women is growing up in poverty. So their mom is working one job, probably got like 6, 7 kids. They living in a 2 bedroom apartment, a 2 bedroom house. So now they trying to find ways to, get stability. Oh man,
E-
still in my mom gotta share my meals with my brothers and sisters. So that'd be more reason why younger women
Exactly.
like older guys. But we never talk about that Demetrius' sister was 28, married to a basketball player, Chicago Bulls at the time, but
I
she
want
was
to.
creeping off with Robert and he was 18.
I, I want to stay right there because I grew up in Chicago in high school in the '90s. I grew up in the '90s as a teenager, and I remember the women the young ladies that were most appealing to me. well, more mature than me, and they wasn't, because I was still a kid at 15, 16 years old. I was still a kid. I was still
Right.
getting allowance. I still had a curfew. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these young women that I wanted to holler at,
You were
they
still,
had
wait a minute. You
they,
said
they
you were 15. You said you were still getting allowance. I had my own apartment at 16. That's crazy.
exactly.
Oh,
So what?
wow.
So if I tried to step to you at 15, 16 years old and you already was on your own, what could I do for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't have looked your way.
Exactly.
Oh,
But I see what you're saying, and
oh,
that's my
I'm
point.
You
looking
see
They
what I'm
your
say
way.
saying?
women,
Oh, no.
they say
Mm-hmm.
women age faster than men anyway.
They
Like if a man is
age, the word,
25,
not age, not age,
well, maturity
mature,
wise,
mature faster than men.
yeah, because a man could be 25, right? And a woman could be 18. But that man acting like 18, that woman acting like she's the 25.
Exactly.
And we
Exactly.
see
So
it. So, I mean, growing up, you know, my grandfather, I was on here one day and people was going back and forth. This was a while ago, but they was talking about how their grandfathers was 10, 15 years older than grandmoms and, whatever, whatever. So I was like, yeah, if I remember my grandmom, see, back when my grandmom was pregnant with my uncle, I remember my great grandmom moved her out the neighborhood because back then in Chicago, when you wasn't married, it was like talked about in the streets. So they would move you until you had the baby, and then you just had a baby. So when she met my grandfather, my mom's father, I believe he married her at 17. I know my grandma was 16 when she met my grandfather, and he was 28 years old. And it was normal.
exactly.
So people on YouTube was like, oh, well, all y'all that's saying that, I don't mean to be no disrespect, but y'all grandfathers was
Give
pedophiles.
me
I
give me
was
two
like,
minutes.
damn.
No, not even
Like,
2 minutes. Give me 90 seconds. I'm finna break it all the way down. What you just said, what we just the exchange that we just had. My sister was 17. She left home. Her boyfriend was 22, 23. You know what I'm saying? Nobody thought any different of it. You know what I'm saying? My father and my mother didn't have a problem with that. Grandmama, nobody. And she married that man. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Our my grandmother, and I seen some people in the chat because I'm from Chicago, but all our family come from the South, Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? I seen people in the chat,
Mm.
Arkansas. We probably family members and don't even know it. It's all love. But what I'm saying is,
We all family members. Oh, no.
don't get me
Oh,
started. But
Arkansas.
no, yeah, Arkansas, Little Rock to be exact. But what I'm saying is this, it's a different time frame back then. You know what I'm saying? To now, you know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother was 15 years old, and my granddaddy was damn near 30, and
yeah.
they both.
Wow.
I mean, if we want to incarcerate people because of that, these are man-made laws. If you look in the Bible, Jesus' mother was 14 and Joseph was 44. My moral
Muhammad,
compass,
I'm sorry, people always say, oh, that Muslim, I've been Muslim all my life. Aisha was 12 and Muhammad was 99.
man, now me morally, my moral compass, do I agree with that? Hell no. You ain't finna catch me dead with nobody with a team behind their age, let alone somebody. I'm in my 40s. I'm not finna be that just me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when you look at the world and how the world has changed and how people view things, it's all about perspective. Where's your
Right.
perspective? Where's your moral compass lay? That's for you. I can't
But,
judge you. I
right,
can't
but
judge you.
let's say this though. How many families that, or when a family say, the mother and father say, they accept it. And
Hold on. This is too important for me to address to just V. Mary and Joseph didn't have sex though. They had other kids though. They
right.
ain't just have Jesus. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, sweetheart.
But morally, it's a lot of things. A lot of people going to say, "Oh, well, morally, I don't like that," or "Morally, I don't like this." But my thing is, a lot of people who, like my grandmother, my great grandma knew. She knew my grandfather's family. They knew this, their family, and everything was copacetic. But my point of it all is, what about the young women? And we, like I said, we never talk about the cougars. I never knew what a cougar was when I was growing up. I never, people used to joke about that, cougars, and the guys used to be like, man, I want a cougar. And I was like, what the hell is a cougar? And then when I got older, I found out that it was older women that like the younger guys. So I remember the older women coming to
I
pick
can
up
tell you some
the
stories.
basketball players that was in the 11th and the football players that was in 10th grade. And these women was damn near 30. Just like Demetrius said, his sister was going on 30 and Rob was 18. And
Mm.
she wanted Robert more than her husband.
Now
So
I
why don't
got a
we talk
real
about that conversation? That
exactly. Now
that's
I got a
okay.
real authentic story that I can tell you, and I know just Jazz, you can relate because you have ties to Chicago. Uh, I remember my cousin. Rest in peace to my cousin. Uh, he had a. We was about 15, 16 years old. We was outside. You know what I'm saying? Now, he was messing with one of our friends' sister, older sisters. We was like 16. She was like 22, 21, 22, and he ended up getting her pregnant. You feel what I'm saying? And
Mm.
she had a, we'll be over there kicking it the whole nine. See, when I look at R. Kelly, I look at him like a big ass sugar daddy. That's all he is. He a big ass sugar daddy. But now, what I mean by that is, now we would go, and hang out, you know, and even though his baby mama was, what I'm saying, they was dating or whatever, she had a sugar daddy. She 22. Her sugar daddy was 55.
Mhm.
Now, when her sugar daddy came through, we already knew, like, man, we finna move around, party over.
That's crazy.
Cause look, Sugar Daddy was coming with the bread.
That's
Sugar
crazy.
Daddy was coming to pay the bills.
Right. Now I can't confirm or deny whatever they did because the man was older. I don't know. But I know when he left, we came back and the party was lit.
The party was
No, but
lit. I
wait,
don't know what
the Sugar
happened.
Daddies used to bring. That's they the ones used to pull up in the trucks and bring all the damn food, extra sodas. And back then, if you was 17 and you was sneaking drinking, they was the one bringing the 5 or 6 boxes of coolers and the DJ equipment. Oh, y'all want a DJ? Oh, you gonna get a DJ?
Right.
Oh
I'm telling
wow.
Supplying
you.
the whole party.
I'm
Everybody had
telling
one.
you. And my cousin, he didn't trip because he knew, like, shoot, she about to get this bread. We finna be straight. We finna be eating good, smoking good, drinking good. We was on 63rd and low on my mama. We was on 63rd and low. You know what I'm saying? And on the south side, 63rd low in Inglewood, right there. It's a GD building, a BD building. We be over there. We was young as hell. I'll be sitting back thinking about the times to change because I would never. I got a teenager now, and I would never
And I
let
would
my
never.
son.
Me neither.
I would never let my son be outside the way I was outside. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
I would
Lord.
never do that. The way we was
But
outside,
yeah,
we
but
was
his mind might be on something else. You seem like your mind was on something else.
No, but if we really think about it, these kids' hormones is way more woke than ours was. Way more woke.
we were more adult like. Our
Yeah.
generation, we thought more, adult. Like we were more responsible for our actions. These
Right.
kids now,
Right.
they just kids.
They
You know what I'm saying?
That's
materialistic,
it. And see,
and that's
my
what's
child was
scary.
just scared of me. She's scared of me, the wrath of me. You know what I'm saying? But so I didn't have, I didn't have any problems. You know what I'm saying? Thank God, I didn't have any problems. Just made like two calls from the school. That was like when she was in elementary, but the like from after like sixth grade on up, like absolutely nothing. Just two calls in the elementary because she got mad about something about some lunch. So you know what I'm saying? Wasn't no school, wasn't no grades, wasn't no boys, wasn't no skipping school or nothing. And you know what? When she graduated, when she graduated, got her first degree, and she was on the basketball team. She was the only one that was able to get her degree that day that walk across the stage. The rest of the team, just talking about the girls on the team. The rest of the team, they had to get their degree like later on. They still had some classes to finish and all of that. She was the only one
Yeah,
that could walk to get her degree. That was crazy.
that's amazing. That's a beautiful story.
That's
I said,
beautiful.
Yeah, them girls.
I
When I told them girls, woo, party, honey.
I salute y'all mothers for doing y'all thing, man. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
Angie, Just
I'm
as man, I
I'ma
salute
say,
y'all.
Angie, it's a little. I don't know. I ain't go like my babies. They don't give me no problems. Good morning. But they materialistic, and I think that's a big problem. Like we had to do woodworks and stuff to get allowance and all that growing up. These kids now, like both of my kids got freaking $1,200 phones, both of them. They walking
Oh
around with
wow.
Yeezy sneakers and all this, and they want the brand new what's them thing called Balenci. I think I'm saying it wrong.
These kids
Balenciaga.
crazy.
Yeah, the Balenciagis. My
Balenciaga.
daughter walking around with the Gucci book bag to school. I'm like, girl, if you don't tuck that book bag, ain't nobody gonna take this from me. See, when I was in school, you couldn't walk around in school with all that. You had to tuck your gold chain and all that because people that didn't have, they would take. But these kids,
Mhm.
it's like a fashion statement for them, and they don't want to work
Man,
for it. And that's the scary part with the females because if an older guy comes around who can supply that Balenciaga, that Louis Vuitton, that VSL, they gonna go for that. That's the
that's
scary
crazy.
part, and I believe that's where Azriel and a lot of them females that were chasing Robert, it was that because they were growing up in a household where they were spoiled and parents were just giving them this and that. So then they stopped giving it. They like, oh, I still need this stuff, need that lifestyle.
And that's the disconnect for me right there because it's like they don't hold no accountability for these adults. Like they want to just blame everything on R. Kelly. But when I was coming up, they treated us like young adults. It wasn't no. By the time I was 13, 14 years old, it wasn't no. It wasn't no. Hey, I was responsible for every decision I made. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no. Oh, you was just young. No, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't none of that. These
Mhm.
people, these young adults nowadays, they get too many passes. And then, at what age do we start to hold people accountable? You know what I'm saying? For their own actions.
Well, it
That's
has to do
dangerous.
with it has to do with the crime, and of course it has to do with the mindset. So
That's true. Because
yeah, and
if a 15-year-old rob and kill somebody, they gonna get adult time. They ain't gonna treat them like no kid. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know who they want to have sex with. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how they do this thing. When you look at history and everything that we're talking about right about now, it's just crazy. Especially if you can lie about your age and get away with it.
right. I mean, I said wasn't last live, it was a couple lives. I mean, I believe that it should be some consideration for mitigating factors before the verdict. You know what I'm saying? It should be within the crime more
Yeah.
than just the when it comes to the intent and stuff like that. It it shouldn't it should hold others responsible, right? It should hold others responsible, but that doesn't mean it should lessen the responsibility of the guilty party. But if others are involved, then it's kind of hard to explain. But y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, if I trick somebody, then I'm defrauding somebody, right? And there are laws for defrauding. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying?
I
I think,
understand completely
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying because I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. I found myself sitting in Cook County Jail behind dumb decisions that I made in my youth and ended up spending 3 years in the penitentiary behind decisions. Ain't nobody make no excuses for me. I was a young adult. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody say, well, his pineal gland wasn't all the way. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to live with the repercussions, and I'm glad that I pulled myself up and I had family support. And before my father died, he told me, he looked me in my eyes and said, "Man, I'm proud of you as a man because you pulled yourself up from where you came from what you've been through." That's what
Mm-hmm.
we need to do. We need to celebrate people taking ownership in their own decision making instead of making excuses for it, because you enable them to make further bad decisions. You know what I'm
Now that's
saying?
on
And,
all
and, and
sides. Now you got to say that's on all sides. Now
that's it.
everybody
That
got
is.
on both sides. Both sides. Now make sure you say both sides. I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, most
Yeah,
definitely, Angie.
yeah.
And that's one thing I would never sit up here and perpetrate. R. Kelly, for example, he got to make better decision making. When he get out this jam, and I believe he will, he definitely got to make better decision making. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what landed him in this situation. You know, partially
Right.
because I do believe he was framed on a lot of things, but a lot of that stuff, man, you set yourself up because you could have easily curved a lot of that behavior. You know what I'm saying? And we all human. We all make mistakes, and we all you got to look at all the pressure that's coming at you being a super mega star. Everybody pulling at you.
Right.
Everybody want a piece of you. So it's a different dynamic when you look at it in that scope. So I get it, but yeah, he definitely could have made way better decision making. I'm not one here to sit up cap because I'm saying, like, if I'm at the age I'm at now, and R. Kelly older than me, Azriel wouldn't been nowhere near me. I'm just keeping it real.
Mm. Right. I got you. I got you. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a big age difference.
Yeah, that's just. But it's
That's a
it's.
big
I
age.
don't think he did anything illegal. Let me be clear, but just I don't know what to the capacity that it is. But at the end of the day, ain't no victims involved. In my opinion, I don't see no victims. I see people that had particular agendas that didn't go their way, and now they want to make this man a scapegoat for their own reality. That's what I see. But this man shouldn't be facing the rest of his life in prison behind these people. I don't believe
Well,
that.
I
That's
mean,
just
per the
ridiculous.
law now. Per the law, if anybody was a minor, they are considered a victim. Per the law, it's considered some type of you know if
But
the
Angie,
allegation.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I totally agree with you. But charge him for that. I've know people that have went to prison behind statutory rape because they had a mistaken identity, and and it's a law that says that even if they lie about their age and got fake ID, you can still go to jail. Charge them for statutory rape. It shouldn't be a overcharge, a RICO, a racketeering, and all this other goofy ass shit. It shouldn't be that. You know what I'm saying? If that man was dating somebody that was under the age of consent, charge him for that. He already did 3 years. Let that ass out, because that's about the time they do. Why is he facing the rest of his life in jail? And they not even charging him with appropriately. It's an
Yeah, well, that would
overcharge.
have been
That's
a state charge. But that would have been a state charge. But what the government contends is that they only discovered the crime. It was founded between 2014 to 2019 when he was indicted. So that's what they're saying. They are alleging. It's for, what I'm saying. That's how it goes with the federal indictment. So it could have happened back in, you know, 94, whatever, but they're saying that they found it somewhere between 2014 to 2019. That's the 5-year statute of limitation on that indictment for that particular crime. Now,
right, right.
for crimes against minors, then there is no statute of limitation. So, but I mean, they they applied the law, the federal law to get those old, those
Well, let me
charges.
let me show you. See, this is what I have a problem with, and it's the hypocrisy of the situation as far as our people
Mm,
are concerned. Now, we just sat up here and talked about our grandmama, great grandmama, and not even our grandmama. Listen, when I was a teenage boy, 18, 19 years old, that's I wasn't at the high school. I'm trying to knock off older women. You feel me? That was my
oh
thing.
Lord, yeah.
I was trying to get
Oh
them. I was trying to
no.
get them older. You feel me? And they
Oh,
was going. They was going. You know what I'm saying? But it was a different time then. You know what I'm saying? The times has changed,
right.
so people look at things differently. Like I just gave you a story about my cousin with an older baby mom. Ain't nobody was outraged. Like, oh my God. See, I put that story out there. Everything that I say is strategic. I do things strategically. I'm a
Mm,
thinking man. I think before I
right.
speak. I gave a story about my cousin. We was 15, 16 years old. His baby mama was 22, 23. Nobody had an outrage about that in the chat. Nobody, right?
Oh, okay. So chat is
Now when it's
easy.
all right, now I'm gonna leave that nugget right there. But now ain't nobody say nothing about that. Now if I was a female and me and my cousin were females and I told a story about her baby daddy was 23, we was six, it would have been an outrage. Like, what are you doing with? You see the hypocrisy?
Woo, 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 woo. I got you. I got what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know what? But do the young guys, do they make? They don't make a big deal out of it either, because they think that's a badge on, like they got a badge on honor. They done bagged the older woman. So society is hypocritical in itself. You know what I'm saying, when it
Yeah.
comes down to a lot of things.
Yeah, because see, when they promote, um, listen, you sitting in the comfort of your own home. This is mind manipulation that the media does. We're sitting at the home. Well, I'm sitting in my home. You sitting in your home. If we go on and click on a channel, channel 9, channel 11, whatever channel you want to choose, and a commercial comes on, and it's a car advertisement. They're trying to advertise a new Ford or Chevy. Who they gonna have? They gonna have a young woman, probably look like she about 19 years old, sitting there by the car. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? They
Right, right.
advertise. You know what I'm saying? That's what advertisement is about. They use young women as advertisement for mind manipulation. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
the young people like this. The young women in particular like this.
Right.
I need to get this car. Oh, let me call my dealership goofy ass. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Right.
what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we got to look at our society. Our society is hypocritical at its
Right.
core. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
I
I
just, man,
yeah.
I just look at it like, what we're talking about is law based, but we gotta tie in the times. We gotta tie in how it was when we grew up because
Mhm.
we're old enough to look back and look right now and look forward. You know what I'm saying? We could see I done been on this earth more than 3 decades, so I can look, what I'm saying, past, present, and future. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right. Mhm. I get you. I mean, it, that's why I think it's just my opinion. I think and I've said this several times. Um, I think every so often they need to update the laws to reflect the current time. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You have to
I
know
agree.
that, yeah, in school, those kids learn a lot faster because, as the time goes on, because if you remember in school, like back in school, it was a certain grade before you got introduced geometry and then the next step of whatever. When I tell you these kids pick up that stuff, get those classes much earlier, and by the time they
Hmm.
get to at the high school, they already are taking college courses in math because they've already completed the other courses in middle school. Wherein I can remember getting into I think geometry like in the ninth grade or something like that. Well, I mean that ain't nothing to these kids. They learn, they develop faster. Um, I mean, and I, I am okay with 18 being the age of consent, 18 being a minor, what have you. But the question should be out there on the table: should they look at that? I mean, should they look at maybe you know changing it? I mean, what is there a true development? Um, is there a difference in development between like 16 and 18? And if it is, how much? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that could be at least looked at. Me myself personally, I am a okay and set with 18. But I know, and I say that because I know Skylife has an issue with the age of consent. You know.
I was just about to see when you were just talking, I was just thinking about Skylife. Shout out to Skylife.
Yeah.
Now, I actually agree with you and I agree with Skylife. You know what I'm saying? Is y'all being black women and feeling how y'all feel. And y'all pretty much said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You put an age on it. She didn't. Now, in
Right.
that aspect, I lean more towards, Skylife, just me personally, because women mature, men mature, people period mature at a different level. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. Now, if somebody's taking advantage of somebody, that's different. An older person taking advantage of a child, that's different. But I grew up in an era where, what I'm saying, I grew up in the middle of the crack epidemic in Chicago.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen so much in my lifespan where I've seen women, young women that was 16, 17, 18, 19, young teenage women making boss moves.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was still a kid at 15, 16 years old. Under my parents, I'm being honest. I was still a kid. I seen women take bold steps in life, get apartments and houses and cars and things of that nature by the time they was 18 years old. I wasn't able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
right.
they were in a different circumstance than I was. You know, I had both my parents in my life. These young women, they were go-getters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what could I do for them? They had to date up. You know, so it's just different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody individual situations is different.
Right. You're right about that. You're right about that. And it has something to do with how you were raised and all of that. What's your environment, you know?
Oh yeah, and the times, because right now, you know, I swear to God, my son ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna drop him off and I'm gonna pick him up.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna drop him off and I'm gonna pick him up, because I was on the bus in the L trains at his age, and I couldn't imagine letting him do that by himself. I wouldn't do that. Not now, but when I was growing up, we was all, man. I'm from the South Side. We'll be all on the West Side. We'll be all on the North. We was all. I got partners all over Chicago because we was outside like that. It was just like that back then. It ain't like that
Right.
now. It's totally different. The culture has shifted. You know what I'm saying? You know, the
Yeah.
culture has shifted. It was structure back then in Chicago. We still had structure back then. When I was growing up, we still had people on the block that was on security, that was on S. We still
Mm.
had different, you know what I'm saying? It was different back then. Now it's just like a vigilante. You know what I'm saying? People can sit up here and, you know, do whatever. But back then, they didn't just allow uh you to just go do some goofy ass shit. It wasn't like that. The streets is different
Mm.
now. It was more protected back then. When I was a kid, we had OGs that was really like laying shit down. Now it's not like that. It's just open seasons for anything to happen. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And that's that. I mean,
Right.
I'm not gonna put my kid in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I was coming up, shit, I'll be on the L. I'll be on 79th. We was shorties. I'm gonna tell you a story. Uh, my cousin, same one I just told you about.
Mm-hmm.
His granddaddy had a liquor store. He worked in the liquor store. This man was 15, 16 years old working in his granddaddy liquor store.
Wow.
He
Wow.
on the register in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Over east. He in the hood selling liquor to people he not even old enough to drink. All day,
Right.
every night. That was his job. We still kids
Oh.
though. We 15, 16 years old. He'll take a Hennessy out now every Saturday he'll take a Hennessy off the top shelf. We'd get on the bus and take the 79th Street bus up to Ford City. You know what I'm talking about? And go the Ford City and go to the mall. You know what I'm saying? Just to go kick it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now I'm in
These are
Florida. I don't know nothing about that.
no, I'm just saying like
Oh, okay, okay.
this is to illustrate the times have
Oh,
changed
okay,
so
okay.
much. You know what I'm saying? The times have changed so much. As when I look back when I was a kid to where I'm at now and
Right.
what my kids will be doing, my kids ain't doing what I was doing. Uh-uh. Nah. Uh-uh. No,
Yeah.
no, no. But let's get back to the record business, the recording business, what we were talking about on Truth Be Told. Now, Truth Be Told, shout out to the brother Truth Be Told. When we look at the contracts and things that these artists were selling,
Mm-hmm.
basically signing over their rights. And when they come back and realize, damn, I signed this contract wrong. Woo, woo, woo. Man, this man to put his, you know, the equivalent to that is You work at your job for 30 years. You expecting a pension. You expecting a retirement plan. R. Kelly to put 30 years into his artistry, into him being the king of R&B, and then now you gonna tell me I can't get my retirement money? Imagine
Right.
somebody tell you you've been working at your job for 30 years, and oh nah, we're gonna lock you up. You can't get your retirement money because you was messing with this bucket head 30 years ago. What?
Well, now I would be
I
mad
can't
if
get
it's no fault of my own. If it's no fault of my own, I'll be mad. Right? That's fair.
if if it was a fault of your own, why she just not saying something 30 years later? Not to say
Well,
that he
that's
did anything wrong. I'm just saying,
yeah.
like, I should not lose everything that I work for behind an allegation.
Right. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
It's like this. I work for this. My music has nothing to do with my personal life. If you want to charge me for whatever you charge me with, now if they can prove that the man did something, whatever, that's cool. But why messing with this man money? It's all about money. People can't see that this is all about money. It's all about his money. They don't want to pay they owe the man a billion, damn near $1 billion. They don't want to pay it to him. That's all it is. His
Right.
catalog of music, he done wrote songs for Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige, Tony Braxton, Celine Dion. His catalog of music by himself, just the albums he put out, on top of the music that he did with other artists, is timeless. They know it's
Right.
timeless. People gonna listen to "I Believe I Can Fly" when my
Forever.
grandkids is here. You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be going on forever. That song.
Exactly. People at their graduations and things of that nature. So, looking at the mechanics of the industry and how they structure their contracts, it's basically slavery. You know what I'm saying? It's basically
Okay.
slavery. That's what I was trying to illustrate. Like they enslaved that man to a contract, and he found his way about that slavery. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all,
Right.
if y'all go to Senator Stain, look at Senator Stain videos. He talks about his later videos, the most recent ones. He puts it out there how the mechanics work. You know what I'm saying? With why they're coming, because they're not coming at him behind no. These corporations about money. They don't care about no victims. This is this is an orchestrated hit. It's orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I was trying to illustrate to people because you know you could have your opinions and everything like that, but at the end of the day, what they're doing to R. Kelly is no different than
Mhm.
what they did to Tony Braxton. They come up with some type of they because they couldn't get R. Kelly with drugs. They couldn't get R. Kelly with gangs. They couldn't get R. Kelly of whatever. They couldn't get Michael Jackson drugs again. They had to come with some, oh, you like, they just come with whatever narrative they want to paint of these artists.
Mhm.
And see, these artists, they come in the industry so young. You know what I'm saying? So they really never really had a childhood. You know what I'm saying? And
And you
these
know what they
we
need
do.
to check? They need to check why is it such a fight when these people, when they go to get their, royalties or masters or whatever it is supposed to get back. Why is it such a fight and a challenge with a lot of these artists? Someone needs to look into that.
Exactly. Exactly.
because I mean, now what that have to do with the allegations? I don't know what the how it would couldn't. I mean, I see what you're saying, but in order to prove him guilty of those allegations, you have to have evidence to prove that he's not guilty or he did, as in he did not do it. You know what I'm saying? But if he's owed some money and all of that, yeah, he should get it. Now, unless it has a direct, if he was framed and it has a direct correlation with him being found convicted, then he was wrongfully convicted. So,
Right, right. I mean, to
mm,
me, what I'm saying is basically this. This is a smoke screen. They know this man eventually it's gonna be some bill. I said this from day one. If they do convict R. Kelly behind this BS, it's gonna be another Bill Cosby situation where it's getting overturned because it's unfounded. It's
mm,
unconstitutional. You can't just violate people's rights like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the injustice. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
mm,
he ain't did nothing that ain't no other entertainer do. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly just he today, but who is it gonna be tomorrow that want to get their money? It's all about money. It ain't about no. They don't care about black women, and I mean, they ain't thinking about that. These people about their money. They don't want to get that man his money. That's what it's all about. And anybody with a half a brain can see that.
okay. What happened to Jeff? Well, we lost Jeff again, baby. Jeff and that phone. We're gonna find out what the hell is going on with Jeff and his phone, y'all. What is the deal?
My
Jeff is
bad,
with
my
that
bad,
phone.
my,
That's okay.
my bad. Sis. I sound like Sharon Winbush on Choke earlier.
Uh-huh.
That was an
Oh
excellent
man,
interview, by the way. Did you see that one?
I only got to see the because I was um checking like the broadcasting because like we be broadcasting live on other platforms and stuff like that, and like radio, and I was checking those and there, and I only got to hear a little bit of it, and I heard a little more on Truth Be Told. So I heard it was a pretty good interview, but she made a lot of allegations.
Yeah,
So
nah, I mean, I started to stay away out of that, but a lot of information that she said was good. I don't know. I'm just letting the tape play out on a lot of that other stuff because I don't like to be accusatory. If
yeah, yeah, if you don't know for sure, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying.
I'm a black and white paperwork type guy. I don't like to make accusations that I can't substantiate.
Right. Yeah, I get you. And that's the best way to be. So, mm, I don't know, but I sure do. I'm gonna sit back and listen to listen to it, and
And
see what.
and shout out to Choke No Joke. He been on the money, man. He been doing his
Yeah.
thing. He been bringing a lot of awareness. His last
Mm,
interview, Prima Donna did really good on there. You know what I'm saying? She
yeah.
did a really good job.
And he's bringing it. He's giving the Team Kel side, some more visibility, and some time for people to express their opinions and their arguments and to state why they don't believe that R. Kelly is guilty. So
Hmm.
shout out to them, for doing that and letting people come up and
Right,
share
you
their
just made
story.
a excellent point because we don't, as R. Kelly supporters, we don't have many platforms to express our opinions on without being shunned and things of that nature. And man, this man, you see how quick that man to put a rally together and ain't no drama.
Yes, yes. That's what I was like. Yes. And I was like, I know you did on Halloween. I said, as long as he, like, if he got out there and say, um, they say, R. Kelly, shouldn't be around, minors or whatever. We don't have any fear of that, whatever. I mean, just, what I'm saying? And it was a real good rally, and it did bring awareness. It did look good. He had, enough people in attendance. I mean, it was real well. I think,
And I say that not to throw any shade at anybody that been throwing rallies, because I didn't attended a few of them. I'm just saying, like, just as an example, like, man, if we could get it together as R. Kelly supporters and put all the negativity aside, just as black people, period, as a black culture that's representing one of our goats, the greatest of all time, R&B. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a hater. I've never been a person that sit back, hey, I'm gonna get mine. You feel me? Regardless. That's how I always live my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And I salute everybody, whether you doing better than me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I salute that. We all need to come together, man, and show love to each other, man. We all black. We all in the same culture. They look, hey, when the officer look at me, he see you. You feel me? So whether we have a difference in opinion on this particular topic, it don't matter. They still see us the same. So we have to keep that same mentality moving forward, because man, it's an all-out attack on black women, black men, black people, period.
oh, I'm sorry. Y'all give him 1 minute.
An example, like,
Hey, Jeff, I got you
man,
up
if
there.
we could get it together as R. Kelly supporters and put all the negativity aside. Hello?
Yeah, you hear me? Oh, I
Oh,
can hear
okay.
your background.
Okay, yeah, let me turn my device off. But yeah, um, um I really appreciate you give me the platform to come in, Angie. You already know how we get down,
No
we chop it up
problem,
over.
no problem.
Yeah, but um I'm probably gonna turn it in. Like I said, I woke up for a quick second with, I'm probably gonna go back, lay it down. I could talk
Okay.
all night. But
Man,
I wanna wrap it up by this. Um the main issue that I feel that needed to be addressed tonight, that was the topic of the conversation, was um, as far as the music industry is concerned and how it works. And a lot of people don't
Mhm.
understand with these contracts and you know these different the music industry is shady. It's super shady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. It's too many people have complaints about it. Multi-race, all the races. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's arguing about that music business.
Yeah. And when you look at an artist like Chaos that been in the game 30 plus years, he signed contracts that that he was still binded to from 1989. You know what I'm saying? He was signing contracts that forfeited, you know, that he probably didn't read the fine print to as a young adult. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't really think it's fair to judge him about, his bank account and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it. And then when the man was able to be able to retrieve what was rightfully owned to him, they came on with a smear campaign to try to destroy his whole life. Which I personally feel that they're not just trying to lock R. Kelly up because they know they can't keep him locked up because it's an injustice. I think that they're trying to kill that man. And I'm gonna say it. I think that they're trying to kill him because they didn't kill. I believe that they killed uh, Michael Jackson, Prince, and other artists. Sam Cooke, and we can't let another one of our black legends die. If you think he's a pedo, charge him for that. But these charges don't
Mhm.
match the allegations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know just from me studying this case, it ain't about no alleged victims. This is about money, and this is an injustice. If you want him to go down for pedophilia, charge him with that. Time considered served. You feel what I'm saying? Is that's what they
Mhm.
get, 2 or 3 years on under statutory rape. So that's all I
Mhm.
wanted to say.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
try to catch me some more Z's.
Oh,
I
okay.
appreciate
I
you,
think.
Angie.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh no, no
Thank you, Jeff.
problem.
Yeah.
Anytime, and it's always a pleasure. And everybody, y'all have a blessed morning, a blessed Tuesday, and the rest of your week. And if we don't speak before the week is out, have a blessed weekend. And I love you all, and God bless.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Oh man. Yeah, y'all. It's always good. We always, hey, we so versatile coming through here through these channels and stuff. We can have casual conversations and people just, just talk about hell, if they're on the same side, if they're on a different side, if they mixing it up or whatever. You know, it's how it goes down, how it goes down. So, but yeah, but I mean, so when we was doing that exercise, like for the R. Kelly defense, these are some of the reasons why they think that R. Kelly is innocent, or or people, other people help cause, you know, his um, how to put this? I don't want to say his demise because it's not a demise, but you know what I'm saying. That cause shit. I'm halfway asleep. You know what I'm trying to say, but and I have to go back and find the video where I list all the the different reasons or whatever from what I've heard, since early 2019. You know what I'm saying? And so, and everybody on both sides have strong points, what have you. The thing about it is that you just have to say, how does your argument makes him guilty or not guilty? You know what I'm saying? Do you have something to prove that he did the crimes? Do you have something to prove that he didn't do the crimes? And are you saying if he did the crimes, then it was because of some this reason, that reason, whatever. And that's what is considered mitigating factors, right? So, like I said in some cases it should be looked and that should be considered. To me it should be under jury instruction. It should be it's all I mean it should reflect if somebody's guilty in the sentencing, because it normally does, because somebody's going to argue mitigate the defense is going to argue mitigating factors, and the prosecutors are going to argue aggravating factors, if that's the case. But there's just so many variables that goes plays a part of the outcome. You know, if you are human, right, and if you see people tell a story in the media, just and then when they get to court, get on the stand and tell a different story, whatever, you got to. I mean, you can't expect people to say to believe that person. You understand what I'm saying? You can't expect them to believe that person. Now, I'm not saying that absolves anybody from their crime. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you got to kind of reason and understand where you got all these people doing this, saying this, and the timing, and you look um at everything that's happening, what's the contributing factors, and all of that. You got to be like, well, they got a point. They can see why they challenge the validity of the convictions. You know what I'm saying? You can see why. And that's just keeping it above, you know. But I don't know what. Let me see what this man is doing. Hold on a minute. Oh, okay, he did it. Ooh, okay. Well, I'll drop it again. I see y'all having a pretty good conversation in the chat. Let me see what y'all talking about. See what y'all talking about this merchant. True. Oh, that's True Strong Warrior. I finna say I know Truth be strong sleep, and he don't tag team me in. Let's see. Truth be strong says something pretty good. I do believe that people stole from him, and I feel that others should have been locked up, but he still has to pay for his own crimes. You can't have sex with minors or expose them to herpes. That is absolutely true. Mom life, girl. Oh my gosh. Y'all give me one quick minute. I need to see something. Oh Lord, could you send him for beautiful? Oh, child, I don't know what that's about. Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all But y'all be on it 4 days in the morning. Jesus. Oh, all right. Sorry about that, folks. You know, this was a pretty good one. I might submit this one because we can either record live and it goes, to all the platforms, the radio, this, that, and the third, and I can also submit them. Um, so this is a pretty good one. I might submit this one, and I'll tell y'all where all the links are if Jeff interested in hearing himself or whatever. Okay, now, all right, y'all. I'm just doing a little. If y'all want to, y'all can get out of here if y'all want to. I'm just doing a little testing. All right. Okay, Jojo, do you see where it says "in broadcast" up there at the top? Maybe I should call you back. Let me call you. I'm doing a little testing, y'all. Hey, so do you see the "in broadcast" up there at the top? In broadcast, you see it. Look at the top to the right. You on your computer or your phone? Okay, so at the on your phone at the bottom, do you see it say "in broadcast"? You don't see nowhere where it says "in broadcast." I know. They don't have it on now. Damn. Okay. Hold on, wait. What did that girl tell me to do? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. So, anyway, folks, anyway. So I am going to push on up out of here and let y'all go on it. Thanks for the panelists that was up here. It was just Jazz. It was Jeff. I tag team in for Truth Be Strong. Allegedly on it. Also known as Arkansas. If y'all have any links and stuff to y'all channels and things of that nature, please drop them. Please drop them. And always do these things. If I can remember to hit the buttons. Please do all of those things. Club Blue and all that. Alright, as usual. And as always, I appreciate y'all. Let me get myself together. Appreciate y'all. So hey, thanks again to the host, the hostess, and the guests, and everybody else. Until the next live. Until the next one. I'm thinking it'll be today. Peace. And y'all be careful. Love ya.